Welcome back to Ben's Garage. Today we're going to go for a little drive and see what Range Rovers are like at speed. Let's get to it. I'll be back with you when we're on some better roads. So we're back in the Range Rover. It's a glorious day today. It's 13 degrees Celsius outside. We've been doing a bit of work out on the digger today. I thought I'd just go out and have a little drive round, check out the scenery, and we're going to see what Range Rovers are like at speed. Now, over the years, Range Rovers have been notoriously bad. Yeah, Range Rovers of old, the old classics, when they first came out, they had a tendency for rolling over. Probably down to the people driving them like a car. They were nothing like a car when they first came out. Obviously, they were coil sprung, but very soft. Wallowed about quite a lot. I know the police were using them. They rolled a few. Then the very late classics had the air suspension, and then the P38 had the air suspension, and then the L322, which is what we're in. The early version of the L322 with the air suspension, it's slightly different to this one. You've obviously got your free height settings. You've got access mode, normal ride height, off-road height, but when you get going along on the highway and you do more than 50 miles an hour for 30 seconds or more, the air suspension on the early L322s drops by 20mm. I think it was 20mm. So it's sort of, the car squats down a little bit, which did the job. And I think, if I remember rightly, I think the P38 did that as well, because we had the P38 2.5 diesel. I think it did the same. When you get to a certain speed, it drops the air suspension a little bit, and so it just sort of lowers your centre of gravity, but just takes a lot of that body roll and stuff out at speed. When you drop below 50 miles an hour for so many seconds, it goes back up to normal ride height. If you're towing, as soon as you plug something in the towing socket, it overrides that, so it stays at normal ride height. So if you're towing a caravan or a trailer at highway speed, it won't drop down. So, which is obviously a good thing, because you don't want to be altering the height of your car when you're towing a caravan or something, because you're going to alter the angle of the tow hitch. On these newer L322s, they've got adaptive suspension. It's all done through electronics. There's a lot of sensors on the car, accelerometers and all that kind of thing. So the car knows how it's being driven, and it adjusts the shock absorbers accordingly, basically. So if it senses that you're going to be pelting into a corner, it electronically alters the shock absorbers on the opposite side of the car so that it stiffens that up. Basically, that's how it works. Oh, another hold up. So I'm going to find some decent roads and see if we can test out this theory. I reckon everyone and their mother's out today. Rural France. It's as busy as Paris. So we won't be testing much suspension out at speed, stuck in this lot. Now also, this car's chipped. We've had the ECU remapped. The EGR valves are blocked off physically and they're deleted from the ECU. It should now be about 310 horsepower and about 700 newton meters of torque, according to, you know, the company that did it. It was Quantum Tuning, but their local agent to us did the job. But that was the map that was put on it. So when we get onto some decent roads, I'm going to lay down a challenge to Sam. I hope he watches this video, but yeah, I'm going to lay down a challenge. I'm going to do a 0 to 60. I don't like doing standing start 0 to 60s because it puts a lot of stress on the gearbox and the drivetrain, but we'll do it. I'll put it in sports mode and we'll do a 0 to 60, and obviously it'll be a 0 to 100 kilometers an hour for me. But yeah, so we're speed limit at the minute, so I can't really push it on the corners. Now on a earlier Range Rover, just pushing it into these corners, got to be careful because the old speed limits. Going into a corner, it just goes round it. Whereas before, like an early Range Rover, it would have just wallowed. Really, you know, the P38 and the Range Rover Classic. I mean, I've had a couple of them. They are notoriously bad. You know, if you've driven one, you'll know. But I mean, we're just bimbling straight bit of road here. Can't really do much more about that, can I? But yeah, we've got some bends. I'm not going to slow down, we're just going to push into it. Just goes into them. There's very, very little body roll, really, for a 3-ton car. Let's go into this bend. I mean, we've got to be a bit careful because the old gendarmes are sitting out here. I was going to have a drive over to the motorway and we'll get up to motorway speeds, but it's nearly an hour's 40-minute drive to get to the motorway, so I thought, nah, sod that. We'll just have a bit of a bimble round and see what we can see. I'll say it's a very nice day out today. Speed limit, oh dear. I know some departments in France are putting their national speed limit back up to 90 kilometres because 80 is just... Right, let's go for this corner here. Bit of an S-bend, look at that. Round there, let's push it into... Oh no, better not. Down to 30 kilometres. So here we go, rural France. All good stuff. So I'm not sure, I mean, if the adaptive suspension is speed related, so if you take a corner at a slow speed, it's not really going to make a lot of difference. But if you're sort of pushing on and you start throwing it into the bends, trouble is I don't really know the road round here. Here we go. I like nice bends that you can see round. I think these cars, they're so powerful. But before you know it, you've lost your licence. Which is not a good thing. But that sound is just, oh, that V8 diesel. Whoa. A nice sports exhaust, maybe? No, let's keep it standard. Oh, look, we're up to the speed limit already. Right, so we've got a set of bends here. Look, we'll just push through. There's hardly any body roll here. It really is a fantastic bit of engineering. I don't normally drive like this, I'm normally a bit Derby and Joan, but just to prove the point, I mean, you've got to realise it's almost 3 tonne, this car, so you've got a lot of weight being thrown about, but it just takes it. There's no sort of feeling that we're going to lose control or run out of road or anything like that. It's just fantastic. Now we're coming up into Saint-Yrieix-le-Perche. and then we'll get out the other side, and I'll do some 0 to 60s out there. So I'll be back with you when we get out the other side. St Iriel of Perche. We're just coming out the other side of it now. Make sure there's no I don't know what that woman thought. She was picking her dog up. It's a bloody dog, it's got 4 legs. Strange, aren't they, people? Bloody strange. Now, I think there might be a bit of a straight road up here. Right. We're in Sports. I'm going to try and video it. So I'm not going to time it, but I'll time it when we get home. So 0 to 100 kilometres in Sports. So this is for you, Sam. We're throwing down a challenge. So we're stood still. Here we go. When you throw it around the bends, and it really does. You'd expect it to sort of be rolling about a bit, but there's none of that. Not for the size and the weight of the car. Obviously, a lot of people are going to say, well, there's something else that's going to go wrong. Whoa. But you can't buy a car now that hasn't got technology on it. I don't think. Unless you buy something like the old Fiat Panda. But I mean, you just go into a bend at speed. Look, nothing. Fan-bloody-tastic. If only the old Range Rover was like this. It just shows you how much technology has come on over the years. I mean, the first Range Rover came out, was it 1970? And that, in its day, that was a technological breakthrough. Coil spring suspension, and you know, I mean, the Rover V8 wasn't anything new at the time, but it was just a fantastic car, capable off-road. But now they've moved on to this, and obviously the generations after this one, the L405 and then the new Defender, absolutely riddled with technology. I don't know if the adaptive suspension will be working on this bend. We're only doing 60 kilometres. But even that, it's not body rolling or anything like that. I've had a few trees down around here. Let's try and take these. Yeah, look at this. Whoa, feel that power. It's clearing the cobwebs out at least. Whee, you bugger. Oh, oncoming car. It is brilliant, really is. Perhaps we should take this Range Rover to the Nürburgring. Perhaps we better not. It's not my... It's not that I don't have faith in my own ability. It's I don't have faith in the other people on the track. Because knowing my luck, idiots will be crashing into me. But yeah, so this video is just... what's a Range Rover like at speed, and how does it take the bends and all that kind of thing. I mean, this is just a back road, and it's as rough as hell. You can hear a little bit of rattling in the car. The wheelchair's in the boot, and I've got a load of crap down on the floor here. But it's quiet as you like. It's got pretty good tyres on it, Continentals. I don't know if we'll be putting those back on it when we need to replace them, because they are rather expensive. I might do what Sam did and go for an all-terrain version, because that was letting it down when we was off-road the other day, having the road tyres on it. It just, all the technology on the car was working, but it just didn't have the grip. But we'll see. was once we've got the Panda done, Tina won't be using this car so much for going to the shops and stuff. She's desperate to start using the Panda, so we might do some little things like offer, you know, all-terrain tyres and that kind of thing on this car. I don't want to go too mad because I want it to stay a nice car, but it's got the off-road ability. So yeah, that's it for this video. I just thought I'd come out for a little drive and a bit of a chat. There's not a lot going on because we're doing work on the in and around the garage at the moment, so there's not much content in the garage. We have been working on the Audi, but I've just hit a roadblock with that, and rather than get stressed out with it, I'm just leaving it and then we'll come back to it. I'll explain all about that in the video when we do the Audi. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. A little bit of a drive about. You won't have seen much scenery because it's pointing at me. But you've seen all the local scenery before anyway. So yeah, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And from me and the Hobbit, who's at home looking after the dogs, it's bye for now.